I just want to give a big thank you to Clover, Cetro, Carl, and Cam for helping me out with this video. I don't think I could have done it without you guys. Anyways, Numberjacks. You've probably heard of it, and if you haven't, go look it up. Anyways, let's get ready for launching.
The Trouble with Nothing. The show's composer, Justin Nicholls, owns a website featuring all the projects that he's contributed to. On said website is a Numberjacks page, listing all the tracks that Justin had composed for it. Oddly enough, it features an unused track titled as Naughty Zero. While not outright confirmed, it's heavily implied that this very track was meant for this episode, given its plot and how said track is eerily similar to the Meanie songs regarding the structure of its melody.
Going wrong, going long. This episode is the closest a Numberjack has ever landed to a problem. Since the other Numberjacks couldn't find a landing spot, Six calls Agent 16 to tell the boy with the long pencil to write a 4, so 4 could land.
Sphere today, gone tomorrow. This episode is the first time we see a Numberjack changing size. Six shrinks down to fit inside of the marble round.
In, out, shake it all about. Aside from this being the puzzle's first appearance, this is the only episode to feature the inside of a puzzle bubble. One more time. In June of 2025, a YouTuber by the name of rediscovered the exact location in which this episode's bridge scenes were filmed. This was all a pure coincidence as at the time, he was out getting live footage for the 4th episode of his show, Borough Bugs. It's also worth noting that this bridge is in Hammersmith, the exact area in which OpenMind's recording studio was located, as mentioned by Bob Goling in an interview about his time on Numberjacks.
Forward thinking. The very first Numberjacks video to ever be uploaded to YouTube was a clip from this episode by the guy who played the funny man, Alex Leon. The video was uploaded on the 24th of October 2006.
7 wonders. 7 shows off her ability to summon rings, and then never does it again other than in this one video on the Numberjacks YouTube channel, that being the countdown to Christmas.
Getting heavy. This episode marks the only time where 2 Numberjacks have gone out to stop one meanie other than the puzzler.
Belongings. This episode marks the first instance of a meanie appearing twice in a row.
4. He's a jolly good fellow. This episode is chronologically the first episode to have its CBBS airing title be its official YouTube upload title, with its original airing title simply being He's a Jolly Good Fellow.
Boxing Day. Shockingly, this is the only episode to feature 4 as the one pressing the launch button to fire another Numberjack from the sofa. Why this is the case though, it's pretty unclear, though it might have something to do with 4's role as a supposed head of operations in the control room.
Out of order. Via Plastic Milks, the animation studio that provided the 3D animation for Numberjacks' website, it was discovered that this episode had an unused line, where Spooky Spoon says, "Lovely mixing!" This was most likely due to timing and trying to stay in the approximately 14-minute time limit. Side note, there's also another case with this in episode 9, where Spooky Spoon says,
"Better than everyone, and better than everything."
Really interesting, isn't it? 9 lives. For some reason, at the end of the episode, when 4 is facing the front, he says, "Contact the Numberjacks," instead of the usual "call the Numberjacks." This has never happened before or since.
Takeaway. This is the only time in a non-special episode where a Meanie song doesn't play.
The bird. While this doesn't have the longest title in terms of the letter count that goes to counting down to Christmas, this is the title to have the most words at 8, even if most of them are repeats.
Stop and Go. This episode is the first to not be written by Chris Ellis, instead being written by Alison Stewart, with Chris acting as the episode's script editor. This is only the case for Season 1, Episodes 16 to 20.
Off colour. This episode marks the first time somebody other than a Numberjack has entered the brain game machine, with that being one of 4's buddy blocks.
A game of 2 halves. Around the back of the brain game machine are 2 arrow buttons, allegedly labelled as forward and reverse, given the use of the latter in the context of the episode. This would be the only time that these buttons make an appearance.
Out for the count. People inside of the Numberjacks fandom probably know this, but a toy of Thomas, Percy and James from Thomas and Friends actually appears for a second in this scene. The container drainer. It features the only appearance of 2 random fonts completely unique to this episode. I don't specialize in fonts, but from what I gathered, the 2 fonts are Lucidia Suns and Chalkboard? Please do correct me if I'm wrong though.
Tense moments. This episode is actually the first time 2 Numberjacks not a part of the main 4 go out. 3 things good. This is the first episode to feature the Shape talking.
Say what you mean. There is a 17 episode gap between Forward Thinking and this episode, which means the Problem Blob had the longest gap between 2 appearances out of any of the Meanies.
1-1. Aside from Seaside Adventure, this is the only episode that features an emergency launch, as quoted by 5, where a Numberjack launches mid-mission, as well as being the only one to actually have it featured on screen. Tricky Sixes. When 6 flies back to the sofa, specifically in the final shot when the door opens, you can actually make out Zero flying in behind him. This is super odd as Zero didn't appear in this episode whatsoever, and wouldn't even be integral to its plot anyway. Part of me assumes that this may have been some random oversight by one of the video editors, given how Zero's line might be hard to distinguish from 6's yellow for some people. But even that's kinda hard to believe, given that this Numberjack combination would have only been a thing in The Trouble with Nothing and nowhere else.
May the Force be with you. This is the last episode to introduce a Numberjack, with that being 8.
Best estimate. The coloured balloons the Balloon Man is holding are the same colours as the main 4. 1 pink, 1 cyan, 2 blues and 2 yellows. If I had to guess, this would probably be a coincidence, but you never know.
On and off. This episode features the first instance of body blocks being a different size than normal, that being larger than normal.
Zero the hero. This is the last time no Meanies appear in an episode, and I guess the last time a Numberjack actually causes problems. But can I just say, this episode truly shows Zero's threat. I mean, look at 4. Wish these types of episodes were in season 2, but oh well, that's a shame. Anyways, I think I'm going on a tangent. Let's continue.
Bad Circles. This is the only episode where the Shapejaper appears as a singular 2D shape for the whole duration. While 3 Things Good also had her remain 2D for its whole duration, she alternated between square and triangle in that episode, while here she only appears in her circle form.
Famous 5s. The puzzler saying, find 2 numbers that add to 5, then I will let 5 out, alive. Could imply that he maybe wanted 5 dead. Or maybe could just be a very crazy way of rhyming that's just been taken the wrong way. You know, that sounds about right. Next.
Fair shares. This was the first episode to be re-uploaded onto the official Numberjacks YouTube channel, being one of the many episodes posted on the 20th of May, 2015.
Being 3. The episode called Being 3 is the 33rd episode of the show. That's the fact.
Into the teens. Due to the fact that this was the last episode to use the MMVI Roman numeral on its end card, it's likely that this was the last episode to be produced in 2006.
Slide and turn. For some reason, at the end of the episode, 6 mistakenly refers to 2 as she. You could say the same for episode 1 with ironically 1 when 4 says, he's tired! But honestly, I'm just gonna give it the benefit of the doubt since it was an early episode.
6 of 1. This episode has the only time the Problem Blob makes someone disappear. Time Trouble. This episode features a PlayStation Portable in it, being played by a boy.
1, 2, 3, go! This is the only episode where Bring In isn't used once. In Out Shake It All About doesn't have Bring In the mission, however it is used at the end.
More 4. In the scene where the Shapejaper gives one man an extra arm and leg, Chris Ellis is actually the other man sat next to him.
Almost Human. This is the only episode where the Problem Blob doesn't make a sound.
2, 4, 6, 8. This is the longest non-special episode with a runtime of around 14 minutes and 22 seconds.
Round and Round. Amusingly, a pair of Xbox 360 controllers make appearances in this episode.
Square dancing! Sorry. This is the last episode where the Shapejaper takes the form of a 2D shape. That being a square. Obviously. Which, funnily enough, was also the first 2D shape she took the form of.
Day to day. This episode marks the only time a Meanie, other than the puzzler, accepts their defeat and doesn't cause trouble afterwards. In matchmaking, the number taker accepts his defeat but goes right back to causing trouble. What How Check. While the Numberjacks YouTube channel uploaded every other episode, including the specials by the way, in 2015, this episode was uploaded on the 23rd of February 2016.
Counting down to Christmas. Surprisingly, this is the only piece of main Numberjacks content to be released in 2008.
Seaside Adventure. The screenshot used at the end credits of most dubs is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9 standing on the sand. However, in the Hebrew dub, it's all 10 numbers standing on the number track. Wait. Did the Hebrew dub seriously just
Ups and downs. Oh my god, yes! We're on season 2. Guys, this deserves a round of applause. Holy crap, guys, this is amazing. Anyways, going back to the episode. For some reason, there's also a Numberjacks audio story titled Ups and Downs. However, the audio story seems to have been made earlier than this episode, as it seems all of the audio stories were made around the same time as each other.
On the Move.
What?
This is the only episode where a cue from the Problem Blob song plays upon his defeat. The Dreaded Lurgi also uses a music cue for his defeat, but strangely enough, that episode's cue was reused from the Brain Gain song instead.
very shapely.
Did it!
For some reason, the thumbnail of the original upload from 2015 uses literally the exact same frame as the thumbnail for the On The Move upload. Laziness at its finest, people. Oh my fucking god.
We three phone home. This episode has the most Numberjacks at Fly Back to the Sofa of any non-special episode in 4, 3, 7, 8, and 9.
Did you notice anything?
Good notice, sir.
This episode was the last one CBeebies aired before Numberjacks completely stopped airing on there. Is it the best way to end Numberjacks' time on CBeebies with a bang? Editor note, insert monkey clip.
They've sorted the number taker out.
Yeah, give or take, I'll let you think about that. Measured response. Six's buddy blocks in the buddy sticks form helped Six with the mission by going outside of the sofa to where he was. This is the only time something like this has happened.
Body stick!
You just have to think again.
But all these boxes.
Just like how More 4 has Chris Ellis, Alice Baker, the voice actress of number 3, makes an appearance in the cafe. Huh, that's cool.
Carry on counting. This is the only episode to have both the red and purple hover dice appear together. Funnily enough, this is also the red hover dice's last appearance in the show, so I feel like this is a good send-off.
A record in the chart.
Quiet!
This episode features the only, and I mean only, time a puzzle bubble has trapped an object instead of a numberjack. Huh, fascinating.
Halftime.
Oh, yes!
This episode features the most instances of a Numberjack changing form, with 4 separate examples of this being present.
Oh, no!
It's also worth noting that 4 has had the most forms out of any Numberjack in the entire show, all other examples being from One More Time, Into the Teens, and More 4 respectively.
A close thing. This is the only Problem Blob episode in Season 2 where the Problem Blob doesn't get shrunken down, as he's instead defeated by being flown away, akin to some of his earlier defeats, such as Forward Thinking and 6 of 1.
A circle at both ends. This was the last episode to introduce a new form for the Shapeshaper. However, this may not have originally been the case, as the existence of a cone form could have suggested an episode about cones that was supposed to have taken place later in the season, with it potentially being dropped before entering production. Though this side of the fact is entirely based on speculation.
Matchmaking. It's the only non-special episode to feature at least one of every Numberjacks' body blocks.
A different sort. When ZK Jr. uploaded this episode onto their channel, they accidentally leaked its original master by mistake, containing textless elements, as well as its edited preview clip back when it was available on BBC iPlayer, the main giveaway being the back of Spooky's mouth, a change that was common to the airings of her Season 2 appearances. Areas of concern. Surprisingly, this episode marks the only time Six has ever faced the puzzle on his own.
For Dreaded Lurgi. This episode has the most views on the Numberjacks YouTube channel.
Stop! That's just gonna get outdated. It's not even a fact about the episode. Let's get this done quickly then. The Dreaded Lurgi, a proper fact about the episode. This is the only episode where all mini Numberjacks aren't prevalent. Only 3 and 5 are in the control room for that day. But because of that, the agents are more prevalent. That's pretty cool.
Fraction action. A funny thing about this episode is that 3 Things Good saw 3 battling the Shapeshaper for the first time. And then this episode does the same. 40 episodes later! Interesting times. This episode has the longest mission in the entire series, as in universe, the mission goes on for more than 1 day.
More than one. In one of Chris Ellis's interviews, you can see one of the monitors with a frame of this episode in the background. If you're looking for it, it's in the interview where he talks about Mission to Learn by the looks of it.
Hundreds and thousands. 0, 1, 4, and 5 all hop in the brain game machine at the same time. This is the most amount of Numberjacks would have been in the brain game machine. And it's the last normal episode. Whoa, would you look at that? Anyways, I'm off now. I'm gonna go somewhere. Bye!
And we're done. We're actually done. That was a doozy. This took a lot of effort to make, so I just want to thank everyone for helping me out with this. But I also want to thank you, the viewer, for watching this video, and everyone getting me to 100 videos. I don't think I would have had the motivation to do so without you guys. But the problem is why this video took so long to come out. If I knew I would procrastinate throughout the entire thing, then I don't think I would have trusted myself to make something this ambitious. Like, I completely admit I'd started this project all the way back in September 2025, so sorry. However, I do have good news. From now on, I will try to be making videos again, because I am getting more motivated again. So, woohoo! But anyways, again, I just want to thank you all, and I'll be off. See ya.